This is Tim Albright with AVNation at the CTI National Sales Meeting with Tony Fragale from Starin. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you, Tim?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
You are here in my hometown, St. Louis,
Yes, sir.
At the CTI National Sales Meeting. Talk for a second about why it's important for Starin, a distributor, right? You guys distribute a number of manufacturers, to come to something like this, which could be characterized as a regional show, right? One of the days this week, we're having customers, CTI customers come in, so you're going to interact with a number of end users. So why is that important for Starin?
Yeah, so normally I think in the distribution sense, we're more concerned about being fast and accurate with getting you guys product, but the more and more that we've worked with your reps, the more aligned we get on projects. Starin has really become part of the design build, which historically, distribution hasn't really had a hand in. So what I mean by that is we have, business development resources going to universities and talking about, certain product, and then we're going to you guys and saying, hey, University X is looking at this. Can you, get them a demo for maybe a bird dog camera?
So that right there is a unique position for Starin, because there are not a lot of distributors who do that kind of biz dev, right? Some of your competitors do things outside of that, right? But they don't necessarily go directly to HETMA, let's say. They don't go directly to a college or a university. What was the thinking behind that?
Yeah, we have to differentiate ourselves.
Yeah.
The thing that I always say about being in distribution, I've been on all parts of the channel, distribution is number one, the easiest sale, but it's also the hardest sale to keep, because everybody's got the stuff, and you can get the stuff anywhere. So I need a good reason to bring, number one, your reps to me and say, hey, let's get the stuff from Starin, because they not only help us with basic CAD drawings, they introduce us to the university, and they, saw the project through and through. So whether it's, staging the product to, simple CAD drawings, Starin has you covered, and that's sort of been our approach to, the value-add distribution game.
Something else that you also, the way you just differentiate yourself are some free design services, right? So talk through that. How a a sales rep from any integrator can come to you guys and say, hey, we have this opportunity. How does that process work?
Certainly. So we have a whole engineering team that helps us with drawings and design. So if it's a basic question, whether this cable will work with this Logitech tap or something like that, we can answer those questions. But then we also do simple CAD drawings. They're not going to be something that you necessarily get from like a CAD company, but they will get the end user happy and understand what is going into their conference rooms, right? So you guys can just come to me. Normally it's a 24-hour, 48-hour turnaround time on those, depending on how tough the project is.
Yeah.
But it's a real value add, because if your engineering resources are tied up and you just need something done in a pinch, we're happy to help.
Well, that's a huge point too, because as we get out of COVID, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say back to normal, because I hate the phrase, but getting to a point where integrators are busy again, installation teams are busy again, engineering teams are busy again. We're looking ahead to 2024 as a relatively busy year. Having something like that is incredibly important for an integrator. Again, doesn't matter what integrator it is, it's incredibly important for them to be able to offload some of their workload onto you guys.
Yeah, and it is non-billable, so there's really no charge for it. The only thing that I like to tell my reps is if we spec it, try to source it from us. I understand,
100%.
Stocking can be an issue, but yeah, outside of that, it's been really successful. It's not only been an in with some of your reps, some of your regional offices as well, but it's just been really good to have on our, plate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tony, I'm going to ask a little bit of a forecasting question. When you look at 2024, what are one or two things that you're really excited about, or really, looking forward to?
That's a good question. I think the education market is going to be really interesting this next year. And I say that because I think for the first time in a long time, what we've seen is, at universities, there's a lot of silos. And I think with organizations like HETMA and just general marketing from a lot of these manufacturers, universities and higher education is becoming more of a complete purchase rather than the business school is doing something, and then the School of Music notices that the business school is doing something. And what we're seeing is there are more forward-thinking folk at these universities that are making these like broader decisions as opposed to these silo decisions. Because we've seen it all the time where the football team might get touch displays for running plays, and then the business school sees that and they're like, why nobody told us that we were standardizing on smart or something like that. So that's something I'm really excited about. And then the other is I just think the future of tech. I'm genuinely very curious to see where we're going with the conference room. You know, with the introduction of Android-based appliances and them becoming more and more popular as all-in-ones, I think the accessories that are going to support those are going to become really interesting, whether that be, you know, supporting different Android firmwares and protocols that, you know, historically only worked on Windows.
Yep.
And I just think, this is maybe a hotter take, but I think things are about to get really weird in the AV space. I really do.
I would agree with that, especially with the introduction of Android, because Android has traditionally been shied away from because of the security issue and the security concern that a lot of IT departments had. And the manufacturers and the Android developers have overcome that by and large, right? There might be some government installations that still don't allow Android, but by and large, they've overcome a lot of those security concerns. So it's a very good, very interesting take.
Yeah, we're seeing, you know, MDM software start. Historically, enterprise had MDM software that only supported Windows.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to manage these devices, including an Android license, cost whatever it cost. So now we're seeing MDMs catching on to that and at least focusing more on like universal licensing as opposed to Windows and Android based. So it should be interesting. I think the future's going to be weird, man. You know, with Apple's headset coming out and just some of the AR and VR stuff coming out, I just think there's going to be an interesting 3 years in the AV business.
Tony, how do people get hold of you or Starin?
You can reach me, tony.fragale@starin.biz. Starin.biz is our website, and we'll take care of you.
All right, very good. Tony Fragale from Starin for us for AVNation. Go by our website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv, and find more videos like this and a host of other things. All that and more at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.